For 5,000 standard cycles, the galaxy lived by a single law. Do not wake the humans. This wasn't some political tradition or a quaint superstition passed down through the generations. It was a survival protocol, written in the shattered remnants of a war so ancient, its details had faded into myth. Yet, every species carried the archival memory, a deep-seated dread of what humanity became when pushed to the brink. No one, absolutely no one, wanted to see that ferocity awakened again. After a cataclysm known only as the Collapse, humanity chose a path of self-imposed exile. They placed themselves into cryovolts, sealing entire megacities into colossal stasis rings that orbited dead stars. They scrubbed their coordinates from every galactic chart, effectively vanishing from existence. On a monument of black stone drifting in the void, they left a final, chilling message for anyone who might find it. We sleep so the galaxy may live. For millennia, the vaults drifted in silence. Nations rose, and empires fell. Stars were born, and suns burned out. But the human rings remained untouched, sacrosanct. The warning echoed through the ages, a ghost story told to frighten young star pilots. Until now. Until the Vorth Dominion. The Vorth were a young, arrogant empire, convinced of their own supremacy. They viewed the ancient warnings as outdated myths, the fearful whispers of lesser species. Their surveyors, pushing into the uncharted territory of the Perseus Veil, stumbled upon a dormant vault. To their strategists, it wasn't a warning. It was an opportunity. They saw a treasure trove of forgotten technology, a chance to break the galaxy's oldest rule and prove to everyone that the age of humanity was truly over. The breach was subtle at first. A precision-cutting laser sliced through the outer hull, a controlled incision designed to bypass ancient defenses without triggering a massive response. They were careful, but their caution was born from hubris, not respect. And then, the vault woke. It wasn't a loud awakening. There were no klaxons, no flashing lights. Just a silent, terrifying ripple of activity. The outer shell peeled open, layer by intricate layer, revealing internal corridors preserved in perfect, sterile condition. The Dominion boarding party moved in, their armor clanking in the dead quiet. They saw no guards, no automated drones, no energy traps. Their confidence surged. They assumed victory was already theirs. Their arrogance lasted exactly 18 seconds. In complete silence, the vault's core systems activated. Invisible sensors scanned every biological signature in the chamber, cross-referencing them against an ancient database. The AI identified the intruders. It registered the breach of its sanctum, and it triggered protocol. Iron sleep break. A single human cryopod, nestled in the heart of the vault, unlocked with a soft hiss. The man inside awakened instantly, without a hint of confusion or disorientation. His eyes snapped open, already assessing the situation. He was a soldier, a relic from the last, desperate era of human warfare. His very biology modified for this exact moment. It knew. The Dominion troops saw him and raised their energy rifles. The human walked toward them, his steps calm and measured. They fired, unleashing a torrent of plasma bolts that sizzled through the air. The bolts struck him and did nothing, not because their weapons malfunctioned, but because they were never designed to fight an opponent whose physiology incorporated adaptive kinetic dampening, technology that turned their most powerful weapons into harmless light shows. Panic erupted. The disciplined troops broke and fled, their courage shattered against an impossible reality. The soldier didn't pursue. He walked calmly to the vault's central core. Before him, holographic star charts shimmered into existence, automatically updated by hidden probes that had watched the galaxy for millennia. He saw the rise and fall of civilizations. He saw the Dominion's aggressive expansion. He saw that the sacred rule had been broken. With quiet purpose, he activated the vault's long-range transmitters. He sent a single, powerful pulse across every known human vault in existence, a silent scream that traversed the spiral arm in an instant. The pulse carried a simple, 3-word message. Wake cycle authorized. Across the galaxy, things began to change. First one cry ring, then dozens, then hundreds, lit up like newborn stars in the darkness. Dormant AI minds rebooted, their consciousness spreading through ancient planetary defense grids. Forgotten military networks reconnected, neurons of a colossal brain repairing a severed cord. Old alliances, forged in the fires of the last Great War, reactivated without a word of negotiation. The Fourth Dominion panicked. They scrambled their fleets, sending armadas to intercept what they still believed were manageable threats. They had no idea what they were facing. Human warships didn't emerge from standard hyperspace lanes. They appeared from the cold gates hidden slipstream tunnels, a transportation network built before the collapse. The ships themselves were an affront to modern design. They had no sleek lines, no elegant solar sails. They were mass-compressed slabs of tungsten alloy, brutalist wedges, built for one purpose: to end conflict fast. The first Vorth battle group to engage them vanished in under a minute. The second fleet, witnessing the slaughter, surrendered without firing a single shot. The third attempted to retreat, only to be trapped by gravitational nets that froze their drives solid, leaving them helpless in the void. The rest of the galaxy watched in stunned silence. Entire systems in the Fourth Dominion went dark, not from destruction, but from absolute, unconditional submission. No species wanted to be caught between the returning tide of humanity and the fools who had awakened them. Desperate, the Dominion Council broadcast a public plea for negotiation, for mercy. The humans did not respond. Their fleets moved with frightening precision, a silent, implacable force advancing steadily toward the Dominion homeworld. They reestablished their fleet infrastructure, reactivating forgotten supply stations and shipyards with an efficiency that was terrifying to behold. Every ship, every soldier, operated as an extension of a single, unified mind. Finally, the human soldier who had first awakened stood before the trembling leaders of the Fourth Dominion. His voice was calm, devoid of anger or triumph. He spoke one sentence: "You knew the rule. You broke the rule. Now, you live by its consequence." Humanity could have annihilated them. They could have wiped the Vorth from the galactic map. But they didn't. They enforced a justice older and colder than any empire. They systematically dismantled the Dominion's military, piece by piece. They freed every species that had been enslaved under their regime. They imposed strict borders, boxing the Vorth into their home system. And then, just as quickly as they had appeared, they returned to their vaults. As the last cry ring sealed itself once more, a final transmission was broadcast to the galaxy, a stark reminder for all time. The rule remains: do not wake the humans. Again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the archives. See you next time.